to Ice Ice Bang Me, your jammer of record for the All-Star Army. And we are now in a chase down. It is the game of catch-up as that Hot Shots jammer tells everybody what to do on the track in the pack. Getting points, calling the jam off.
And we're back on camera. Ta-da!
Texas finds 2 points at the last minute there.
We apparently had not been on camera until just now. The Twitch chat was just alerting us to that, but they just fixed it. So now the camera feed is back up. Apparently they've just been listening to us. So, as Bullhorn mentioned, Texas gets on the board. 2 points for Texas at the back of that pack. We've got, at the moment, no jammers. I was going to say we got double jammer down is what we've got. So Texas is now going to feel the jammer really fast. Here they go. Yep, I saw them signal for double jammer down. So penalties on both jammers in the previous jam. So both teams will sit a blocker instead is what we've got cooking here.
It's really hard to play roller derby when you don't have any jammers on the track. It is possible, but it's not very fun.
You know, a jam with no jammers would be pointless.
And
man.
Both of our jammers out on this track. Oh, we have a foot race happening right now between Motion Sickness and Gale Force Winds. Gale Force Winds with a lead. Lead change goes to Motion Sickness now.
That Gale Force Wind kind of glanced over the shoulder, and before she knew what was going on, Tornado Alley and Gale Force Wind were our two jammers, by the way. I hope that happens again. Alley had gotten by and gone on through, gets 2 points and calls it off for Arizona.
Yes, if the coaches could just put amusing punny jammers in, that would be delightful.
Right.
As of right now, it is...
That's Mo Fasta for Arizona.
Well done, and $7.99 Netflix and Kill is wearing the star for Texas.
Arizona skater off the track, stands up, Aunt Tifa, hands up, climbs back on, gets back in the jam. We don't stop the action for that. As long as the skater's okay, and Tifa totally was, so back up on the track.
We've got a real Donnybrook in the second straightaway. That is the Hot Shots jammer, one skater to beat. That's going to be a scoring pass for Arizona. Netflix and Kill tiptoeing the inside corner of that second apex. It is now a star pass, which means the number 37 Fatality is your jammer of record for Texas.
Gets to go on by. Juicy Kill Tour out of play for Arizona. Feels like that clock's been running forever, but there's still time left. Mo is going to weave through the pack, mid-pack as the whistle sounds. We'll get the score from the infield. Skaters off the track, I hear. We're going to have a timeout of some fashion.
I think I even heard a please in there.
Yeah, that's Crystal Ball Buster.
So very polite. Battle of the Bank 15 is brought to you by Hanson Brothers Moving and Storage. I know we've talked about them a lot, maybe around since before the gold rush. Mover since 1890. They deliver reliable, professional, and local residential and commercial moving, storage, and logistics you can count on. Longtime supporters of Tilted Thunder Roller Derby, so thank you again for your support in bringing Battle of the Bank to Seattle. And by Seattle, I meant Monroe. That's the city we're in. And we would like to also thank Monroe Pizza and Pints, serving up the goods for our community with pizza, pasta, wings, calzone, stromboli, hot sandwiches, fresh salads, and cold craft beer. Proudly repping us on their pizza boxes around beautiful Monroe, Washington.
So it was 14 points on the board for Arizona was the final tally, and it will be an Arizona Hot Shots Power Jam. Princess Sleia at the jammer line for Arizona. Texas has 3 blockers. Sleia quickly threw him on the inside.
That was quick work of lead jammer. Stevie Kicks was looking for the second effort there up at the top of the rail. Meanwhile, denied by Motion Sickness as we put a scoring pass on the board for Princess Leia.
Texas breaks the go. They're going to get together at the front of the pack. Going to triad up, and Princess Leia with a coping jump along the inside. There didn't look like to be a lot of room, but Sleia manages to jump that coping. And now Arizona reestablishes the goad with 20 seconds left in the power jam.
Phenomenal offensive attempt by the Arizona pivot there. Did not do enough to make space to get Princess Leia through. Princess Leia did fight, push to the inside, but finally gets through on another scoring pass. that jam. That jam came to its natural conclusion. Beautiful power jam putting a total of, it's still going, 15 points on the board for the Arizona Derby Dames Hot Shots.
They are going to send Murder Mittens to the jammer line. Texas has sent
Fatality.
Thank you.
And Fatality really looking hard to be out ahead, but man, denied by number 2-5 Nightmare. That's going to be lead jammer established for Hot Shots. Great work by Nightmare there.
So Fatality trying to use the rail as leverage, not getting any traction, and ridden off to the inside again as Murder Mittens finishes a scoring pass for Arizona.
Virtually no touch there, too. Beautifully done. Stuck up at the rail is Fatality. That is denied by number 710 Mofasta.
Texas has handed the star to the pivot, who gets blocked up into the rail after taking over as the jammer of record. That is number 222, Miller Fight. And gets out of the pack eventually, puts that star on just briefly as the clock expires on the jam.
Another 15 on the board for Arizona. Unmatched thus far by Texas as Arizona, that's a new state I haven't heard of, starts a power jam for Jam 6, Jam 7.
We've got Gypsy Danger for Arizona. Your Texas jammer is 6187 Nia Guillotina. I'm so used to seeing 2187 for Arizona. So Gypsy Danger out for Arizona. Nina, tried to stay upright along the coping and just ran out of real estate. That was nearly a beautiful little bit of skating along the back straightaway.
And then, of course, at the last minute, finding collateral team damage, not quite able to get back on the track. We are still fighting to make it through the pack for Texas. Number 22, Mimi Mahler causing chaos on the track as Gypsy Danger approaches on the rail, gets through on a scoring pass.
Nina follows in the wake and is able to get out as well on the pursuit of Gypsy now, and Gypsy calls it off with just a few seconds left on that jam clock.
Ten additional points added aboard for the Hot Shots. Starting this jam again with Power Jam.
That's going to be Juicy Couture for the Arizona Hot Shots. We've got a full pack otherwise, beyond Texas lacking a jammer.
Juicy looks to the low end of the track, finds it for lead. That goat is working.
I was going to say
through.
that's really struggling to break that defensive wall at the back. Juicy now threads through on a scoring pass. So now Texas is just going to bring everybody together at the back of the pack and say, fine, you want to goad? Well, this is goad everybody. Texas going to line up now to play the power jam defense. Juicy along the inside, able to find an opening, get there before the blocker could.
Marvelous offensive hold there by Arizona to get that skater through untouched.
So now Juicy again, right here in front of us.
Let the bodies hit the floor, let the bodies hit the floor, let the bodies hit the floor. But that is another scoring pass for Arizona. The jam comes to its natural conclusion. 15 on the board.
We got one Arizona blocker in the penalty box, so Texas has the pack advantage here. That's going to be Lightning the Queen for Arizona. And your Texas jammer looks to be Hannibal Wrecker?
I believe that is Hannibal Wrecker.
All right.
Hannibal trying to stay on skates on the inside. Hey, that is going to be lead jammer assess for Texas Roller Derby All-Star Army. Huge hit by the Hot Shots there. And number 9-5 Lightning the Queen sent to the cement. Going to have to reset on that one as Hannibal Wrecker comes through, looks to the inside. Golly, that's a big hit by 2-2. Mimi Mahler.
Lightning now out the front of the pack for Arizona, so is going to try to cap this at this one scoring attempt for the Texas Jammer. Blocked down hard to the inside once again along with the blocker. Texas started to wall up, and then somebody suggested call it. And to a cheer from the Texas contingent of the crowd, Hannibal Wrecker calls it off. However, in service of those points, we did pick up a jammer penalty on the Texas Jammer Hannibal Wrecker, so it would be a power jam. No, it will not. That was incorrect. Excuse me. I thought that was a jammer penalty, but it certainly was not.
A little bit of yelling from the infield, making sure we have enough skaters on the track. Not too many skaters on the track. Antifa going against Fatality for Texas here. Fatality caught up on the back rail as Antifa makes it through for lead. That three wall from Arizona causing some problems for Fatality, but Fatality goes for a little bit of jammer on jammer violence.
Yeah, excellent block by Fatality there at the back of the pack. Gets back up on the skates and takes off for Texas to keep this at one scoring pass for Antifa, who has completed it and calls it off. Gonna have a timeout of some flavor. Let's find out what this timeout tastes like. That's another official timeout. So another OTO. Stoppage and play.
And in that amount of time, I'm happy to tell you about Concussed Creations, a local print shop that has contributed to community-oriented organizations and events, as well as the music and art industry for the last 23 years. We have definitely seen their work at art shows or in the roller derby community. They have done our printing over here at Tilted Thunder and one of our sister teams, Strawberry City. They have fresh new gear at their table in the vendor village, including a new collaboration with Tilted Thunder skater Slam Subi. Go say hi or check out concussedcreations.com and use the discount code BATTLE online for 25% off. Thank you, Concussed Creations. Broadstar Media has been providing fiber to the door, multi-gig internet, and bulk video service to communities for over 40 years. Thank you, Broadstar Media, for your support of Bank Track Roller Derby Battle of the Bank 15.
Over in the beer garden, Georgetown Brewing is present over there. Georgetown Brewing is Washington State's largest independent brewery and the maker of beloved local favorites like Manny's Pale Ale and Bodhisattva IPA. Known for brewing high-quality, community-focused craft beer, Georgetown Brewing has become a staple of the Pacific Northwest beer scene while remaining proudly independent and locally owned. Rolling whistle, and we're back to the action.
If the whistle is rolling, so are the skaters. That is number 799, Netflix and Kill wearing the star for All-Star Army. Maximum Overdrive. Is that the first time jamming for the Hot Shots?
Yeah, that's a surprise to me because Max isn't on this roster, interestingly. But that is definitely Maximum Overdrive, number 12 for Arizona. Can definitely confirm.
And that is Maximum Overdrive with a lead.
So, Max out there. Sorry, Max, didn't get you any love in the intros. We apologize for that.
We do apologize, but we're announcing you now. Again, Maximum Overdrive.
So, a tumble running into some blockers at the front of the pack this time was Max.
And Netflix and Kill really struggling behind that two-wall there, put up by Arizona. In and off of the Masonite. That no-pack call is going to give a little bit of space on the track. Netflix and Kill through on an initial pass.
Max clambers along the rail to get clear of the pack and calls it off. So with just about a minute to go until halftime, that's 9 points for Arizona, is going to push Arizona over the 3-digit mark for the bout.
I think this might be the first time for Evil Twin jamming for Arizona this bout, right?
So far.
And that is, but we have seen Danny Darko with the star a couple of times for Texas Roller Derby. One blocker sitting in the box from each side. So we're just a little naked on the track's totally fine.
Both jammers out rapidly. Evil Twin's out first. Danny is in hot pursuit, however, so Evil Twin's going to endeavor to get back to the pack.
I sure do love a foot race. We've got one blocker from each team in the back trying to set up and create some defense.
So Twin got by that back blocker and tried to call it in time, so let's verify if that was done. We got 2 points for Twin, and I do not see any for LA.
That is correct. You actually should not be able to hear the announcers. You really should just be able to hear the audience. They will put me back in the stands if y'all are not loud enough. You don't want that to happen. But what we do want to happen is this jam, which is putting up Murder Mittens for Arizona up against Gale Force Winds. It's, Mimi Mahler, not Murder Mittens. That is Mimi Mahler for the Hot Shots with lead.
Halftime clock has expired, so we are at the half when this jam ends. Mimi pivots, spins, gets through the pack nice and clean, and gets out for Arizona.
Say, now you're just showing off. A lot of motion in the second apex over here as Mimi Mahler gets through on another scoring pass. Our star has been passed by the All-Star Army. Bad Habich is your jammer of record for Texas.
Mimi weaving through the pack on a scoring pass. Bad Habich now, with star in hand, is looking to follow blockers to the front, but the jam clock expires. So, that will take us to the halftime break. We will check on that score from the infield. That was 15 for Arizona there to take us to the halftime break. All right.
And while we're on intermission, make sure you go ahead and follow all of our photographers and videographers that are here today and this weekend at Battle of the Bank. I know we have the amazing Hit Squad TV here taking reels. Hit Squad is also helping leagues do promotional video marketing, so keep in touch with them if you want to know how to use AV to promote your league. We also have, Brad Jammett taking photos on the track. I see Lexi and Love, and occasionally I've seen Anthony Floyd. Do not see him at the moment, but I know he is around. That is a beautiful slate of photographers, so go follow them on their socials and make sure you do not miss a single image caught by these amazing photographers and videographers.
Talking to strangers, so get the fuck off me, I'm anxious. I'm trying to be cool, but I'm anxious. Go ape, say out of all of your faces. It changes though now that I'm famous. Everyone knows how this lifestyle is dangerous, but I love it, the rest is amazing. Celebrate nightly and everyone rages. I found how to cope with my anger, I'm swimming in money. Swimming in liquor, my liver is muddy. But it's all good, I'm still sipping this bubbly. This is lovely, this ain't random, I didn't get lucky. Made it right here cause I'm sick with it. Cutty, they all take the money for granted, but don't want to work for it. Tell me now, isn't it funny? Nah. Lonely nights I laid awake. Pray the Lord my soul to take. My heart's become too cold to break. No, I'm great, but I'm broke as hell. Having I've been told to wait, but I'ma get it now, yes, no debate. Yeah.
It's just me, myself, and I. Solo ride until I die. 'Cause that got me for life. I don't need a hand to hold, even when the night is cold. I got that fire in my soul. I don't need anything to get me through the night. Just the beat that's in my heart, yeah, it's keeping me alive.
Keeps me alive.
I don't need anything to make me satisfied. The music does me good, and it gets me every time. Like the music does me good, and it gets me every time.
"30 seconds back to Derby." We would love to thank also the amazing Ms. Violet No Regard, who is running our AV and streaming for this tournament. You can find us on Twitch. Tell your friends, tell your enemies. Who cares? Just tell them about roller derby. Tilted Thunder is hosting this entire weekend of roller derby, bank track roller derby on their Twitch channel, and that rolling whistle means we are back to rolling on the track.
So we will get back to the action with Murder Mittens on the line for Arizona. That's going to be Nina Guillotina for Texas. Back there well behind the line. Both teams have the stars right off, and then Murder Mittens fights through at the front of the pack, gets past the blocker.
A little trickeration with those star stashes.
Nina's at the back of the pack, still has star in hand, trying to get by along the rail as Murder Mittens weaves through the pack on a scoring pass.
Nina just pushing and shoving on that Arizona three-wall. Holy smokes, a big jammer-on-jammer hit as Murder Mittens come shoulder to shoulder with Nina Guillotina.
Big block at the front of the pack from one of the Texas blockers, knocked Murder Mittens down, who tumbled into Juicy Kill Tour. So Murder Mittens has to get up and call it off.
There had been a star pass to Danny Darko.
I heard that's your jammer, and that could have been any one of three people. And it was on the Arizona Jammer. We've got ourselves a Texas Power Jam.
Number 1818, wearing the star for Texas.
Now we have a flag being thrown in the air.
That was such a robust flag throw.
It really was.
That was robust.
Arizona will be challenging, and this is, again, probably going to be on the jammer penalty, one would have to think, but we will let you know after the challenge. Perhaps they might put it on the whiteboard. We'll see, but we will see what is being challenged, and we'll get you the results afterwards. So 13:39 to go in the second half, and we will step aside for a challenge at the moment. We mentioned Georgetown Brewing, another option down there in the beer garden that they have. I know Say was drinking one of these earlier. Cider Company and Two Town Cider. Cider is in the beer garden. Born in Seattle and crafted in the Pacific Northwest, Seattle Cider Company makes bright, balanced ciders from real Washington apples. Never from concentrate, never overloaded with sugar, just clean, modern cider for beer drinkers, wine drinkers, and everyone in between. It was recently bought by Two Town Cider from Oregon that was founded on the belief that the long history of cider making demands respect and deserves to be done right. Check out both of these cider options in the beer garden. That's right, not just beer in the beer garden.
Thus far, I've only checked out one of those cider options, but I promise that at the end of this bout, I will be checking out both.
So, update. No challenge. Arizona did not have to challenge. After discussion during the official timeout, the officials wiped the penalty. So Arizona did not have to challenge the penalty because it no longer existed.
But you know what? We love it when somebody's ready.
So, not a power jam for Texas after all, after discussion amongst the officials. They are going to send Nina Guillotina up there instead, and that'll be motion sickness for Arizona.
Oh, Nina Guillotina, motion sickness, both approach the pack towards the top of the rail, both still in the scrum. A two-wall there holding Nina Guillotina back. That means it's going to be a lead jam for Arizona in the hot shots.
So motion sickness now approaching the pack that is right in the middle of turns 1 and 2. Is going to get angled down to the infield by that Texas defense.
Yeah, that is Hannibal Wrecker out there doing the actual most to slow down motion sickness. I will make some noise. I'm always making noise. That's why they hire me. That's why they pay me the big bucks to be right up here. Oh, gorgeous no-touch pass at the top of the rail by motion sickness in the hot shots.
Nina back at the back of the pack, still fighting against those Arizona defenders, is now going to get in the way of motion sickness, and a great block by Nina Guillotina at the back of the pack on sick to end that jam. Pack looks pretty full. Nobody in the penalty box at the moment. We got two jammers out there. That is Nightmare for Arizona. And for Texas, somebody that was getting a cheer.
It doesn't end in a 2. So by process of elimination, it is either a Danny Darko, Miller Fight, or Ice Ice Bang Me. But I bet it is Miller Fight. Thank you. Miller Fight, your best friend loves you. That is the energy I want the audience to bring. That was phenomenal. Thank you. The rail is right where their arms are. We're not sad ever about our location, but it is causing some issues.
So looking at the penalty board, we've got penalties on 2 Arizona skaters. We're going to have a big pack advantage for Texas coming up in this next jam when we get out of this official timeout.
There's lots of folks in the sin bin today. Oh, lots of folks in trouble today.
Yeah, now we're going to have there are 2 penalties on Princess Leia, I believe, and 1 on Lightning the Queen is what we were looking at. Yes. Okay, so back to the action again. 4-2 pack advantage for Texas here. Nightmare for Arizona, and still Miller Fight for Texas. And
phenomenal. That's Fatality with the star. Lead now for Nightmare.
tried to get in the way of Nightmare, and Mary had the inside position, was able to get by. So now trying to catch the pack. Mary along the inside with the scoring pass and calls it off. So 4 points for Arizona. Be about 11-10 to go in regulation when this jam starts. That's going to be Tornado Alley for Arizona. And the Texas jammer is Bad Habits, number OW. Yeah, the arm numbers have not stood the test of time on a couple of these skaters. I can say that much. That is Tornado Alley for Arizona, meanwhile, who is out and clear and on a scoring pass. Block down to the inside. Ooh, big block by Mimi Mahler at the front of the pack. We said that a few times today. As Alley finishes a scoring pass. And Bad Habit stays upright. Does it. Manages to not tumble over. Weebly wobbly for a moment, but stayed upright and got out of the pack. Alley now is on the pursuit and is looking for that jammer point. And Alley does have to call it off. So 9 more for Arizona, as Bad Habits kept herself from becoming that final 10th point and forced the call off from Alley.
Fatality with the star for Texas right now. 1-5-1. Ash smash him. Your jammer of record for the Hot Shots. Oh, Fatality is fighting that 2-wall. Is just mean-spirited up there. Actually, 3-wall. Ash smash him. Hits the rails. Goes down. One skater to beat right there. We have seen a lot of beautiful defense from Hannibal Wrecker, but that is going to be scoring pass for Ash Smash'em. And exactly what that is a star pass to 799 Netflix and kill.
Able to get out the front of the packs. Spun past a couple of blockers and gets out. So Ash is going to watch and continue watching and then call it off. Yeah, the back scoreboard is frozen, so don't look back there.
However, this scoreboard that I'm looking at still functional. Score is 163. Hot Shots 5 Texas. Roller Derby 9 points on that jam.
Princess Leia for Arizona, and that'll be Miller Fight for Texas.
Miller Fight up at the rail, getting caught behind an Arizona 2-wall.
Leia fights by along the inside and gets out for Arizona. Miller Fight up against that 2-wall of Motion Sickness and Lightning the Queen, and now finds an opening along the inside and gets out for Texas.
In hot pursuit is Princess Leia, surpassing Miller Fight. Already with lead, though. Both our jammers approach the pack. Princess Leia looks to the end, tries to complete an apex jump, does not quite make the landing, but does find 9 on the board.
We'll check on if Texas got any points on the pursuit or no. Does not appear so. Looks like just points for Arizona. This is going to be Mo Fasta for Arizona.
Nina Guillotina in the penalty box. So we will have a pack advantage for Arizona.
Texas jammer is number 1212. At least I thought it was 1212.
That is 7-1-0 Mo Fasta and Danny Darko.
Thank you,
with
Danny
the
Darko.
stars.
Mo for Arizona off the scoring pass.
Speedy skating all around by the blockers, by the jammer.
Star pass ahead to Stevie Kicks for Texas. So Stevie Kicks is going to take over as jammer. Mo finishes off the scoring pass for Arizona and calls it off to the loud exhortation of the Arizona bench.
Exhortation, a great word to include in everybody's roller derby vernacular. And that is what you can be doing as fans. There are multiple ways to fuel your fandom. You can fuel it in the beer garden. You can fuel it over at the coffee shop at the front of the warehouse. Either way, whatever it takes to cheer, to exhort, to enjoy, I believe, 2 more games today, possibly 3.
3 more games today. 3 more yet. We have a power jam for Arizona, a penalty on the Texas Jammer in the previous jam. That'll be Gypsy Danger for Arizona, out and clear.
Man, that was some really great offense by 2187 Princess Leia.
Texas has 2 defenders linked at the back of the pack, and they try to close the door, but the Arizona wall got in the way of that.
Oh, Netflix and kill. Last skater to beat, really putting in the effort to slow down Gypsy Danger.
Those Texas defenders are going to try to press together if they can here. Arizona's still got 1 at the back, so the 3 at the front are going to unite. There's Gypsy up to the high side, and good work by those Texas blockers, but they do run out of real estate. They're out of play.
And now they just gotta hang out. That's bad habits, and Netflix and kill making the most work of their stationary positions.
And Gypsy reaches the back of the pack right as the whistle blows. Let's find out from the infield what that score is going to be. And it is 13 for Gypsy Danger on the Arizona Power Jam. However, it looks like we've got a penalty on Gypsy Danger. That is a B. That is a back block on Gypsy Danger. Ergo, it is now a Texas Power Jam. A Power Jam for the Texas All-Star Army. On the jammer line for Texas to do the Power Jam.
Ice Bang Me in the pack. Absolutely slamming against this 2 wall from Arizona. Just taking everybody out. That is a star pass, which means that Miller Fight now the jammer record for Texas.
The Miller Fight just nudged off the track by Murder Mittens, spun down to the inside, so not clear yet. Murder Mittens still looking over her shoulder. Pivot stripe to pivot stripe as Miller Fight still has that star in hand. Texas now comes together at the back of the pack, and they're going to form a forward advance here with 11 seconds left on the clock.
Oh man, some collateral damage is going to take our current jammer and the original jammer down to the Masonite.
That'll do it. The whistle blows. Outstanding Power Jam defense by Arizona. So after all of that contact, we ended up with a 3rd Power Jam in a row. Ice Bang Me was the only skater to pick up a penalty on that jam, but being a jammer, that was consequential. So it is now an Arizona Power Jam with Princess Leia.
Trying to make it easy on us announcers over here. Only have to keep track of 1 skater with the star per jam. It's been a long day, and there is still more roller derby to announce. Not just today, but the entire weekend. That's right. We've got games all day tomorrow and the championship and consolation games right here on Sunday, followed by the official after party. The official after party.
Right.
On Sunday, which is at Route 2 Tap Room.
So an official timeout as signaled by Crystal Ballbuster. 2:48 to go in regulation at the moment. After the final whistle on Sunday, keep the party going at our after party at Route 2 Tap House. Head right over after the last game to meet the skaters, celebrate the night, and hang out with the Derby community. They have a great selection of beer and tasty food, making it the perfect spot to wrap up an action-packed day. As we mentioned, that is the official after party on Sunday after the consolation and championship bouts.
Battle of the Bank 15 brought to you by Security Gate and Access. Since 2011, Security Gate and Access has helped homeowners, businesses, and communities throughout Western Washington protect what matters most. They offer a variety of services, including protecting your commercial or warehouse facility by keeping your physical plant safe for you and your employees. That's a requirement these days. A security gate with access control and good fencing will help push potential intruders to a site where there is no security. Interesting advertising tactic there.
All right, we are ready to get back to it, and I cannot read what that says under that. Does that say
Sustained.
sustained? All right. So it is indeed an Arizona Power Jam for Princess Leia.
Holy quick footwork there. That is an immediate lead established for Princess Leia.
Yep.
And we are going to take a moment.
Yes. All right, all skaters involved back to the bench under their own power. We love to see that whenever medics are called into the action. There were some Texas skaters that had come together there in the front straightaway, and I did not see the initial collision, but 2 of the 3 skaters that came together all took a moment to kind of collect themselves. But as I said, everybody back to the bench under their own power, which is what we love to see. We'll be getting back to the action here just momentarily, so after that quick stoppage in play during that jam, 2:35 now to go in regulation. All right, not long enough for anybody to get penalties in that previous jam. We got a full pack out there. Juicy Kill Tour for Arizona. Netflixing Kill for Texas.
Sounds like there are supportive fans out there in the stands rooting on our jammers.
All right, underway we go. Juicy Kill Tour is at the front, manages to fight through those 2 blockers. They were both doing work, but Juicy gets the advantage and gets through along the inside.
Netflix and Kill just digging in the back, but that is some gorgeous track coverage, especially by number 2-5 Nightmare. Truly nightmarish blocking in the back. Pack is spreading out as Juicy Kill Tour can't quite find safe passage. Denied by Miller. Fight there at the front.
So Juicy takes a moment at the back of the pack to kind of look strategy and figure out where to go, and is going to fight that last blocker now out of play. Fight through that last blocker.
Great
and get
offense
out.
by Murder Mittens and on Arizona there. We do have a new jammer for Texas. That's Danny Darko now with the star, working on that initial pass. No time to put points on the board. Meanwhile, 8 hot shots find 8 on that scoreboard as we approach 1:30 left on the game clock.
Another rather full pack out there, it looks like. We've got 1 Arizona blocker in the penalty bench.
Trying to pull a blocker from up on the rail to come off the track is like trying to pull a pancake from the bottom of the stack. You just can't do it.
Maximum hover drive for Arizona. And I was going to say, yeah, there was a jammer penalty on the whiteboard, and they all basically just figured out that at the same time. So jammer penalty on the Texas jammer. It will be a power jam for Arizona. Not a rather full pack, as I had mentioned.
And because we did not announce maximum hover drive, I'm just going to say maximum hover drive like 5 times. And that is lead jammer, maximum hover drive.
Difference of 11 seconds between the game clock and jam clock means there is 1 more regulation jam after this.
Oh, no touch pass. First scoring pass completed by maximum hover drive.
So the Texas defenders now are going to link up at the back of the pack. And they're absorbing a lot of contact as one of the Texas blockers.
Yeah, that was a great pinch block by, I think, Dr. Freckelstein.
So Texas now is going to square up again. Max to the high side. Arizona blockers that time able to really roll up those Texas blockers and made that an easy scoring pass for Max. And that'll do it for the jam. Jam clock expired, as I mentioned. A few seconds left on the regulation clock are going to tick down. One more jam in regulation. And now we have Texas skaters on the track. Nightmare for Arizona. And your final Texas jammer is number 777, jamming for the first time, Tony Montana.
We love to see it. Tony in the back pushing hard on a free wall put up by Arizona. Meanwhile, Nightmare sent back, then sent to the cement. That is a star pass.
Taking over as jammer for Texas is number 32, Ice Bang Me. Nightmare gets out for Arizona to try to keep this to one scoring pass for Ice.
Oh, Ice just comes wailing into the pack. Land body is out.
Signaled to call it. We will check on the score, and there are penalties on both sides. So a penalty jam is not in the cards. Zoe. Still waiting for the score. One moment as we wait on this.
But y'all do know what to do as soon as we give you the official score.
That is the final whistle.
And that means that,
Score is not yet official. 1 second. And now the points are on the board. Texas picking up 2 points in that last jam.
great.
So
way
that
to
takes us
end
to our
that,
final
yeah.
official score. Now, come on down trackside and slap hands with your favorite skaters as they come around. Arizona moving to 2-0 on the tournament with this victory. And now let's get a cheer for the Texas All-Star Army as they come around as well. Excellent work by Texas throughout the bout. And that is going to wrap it up for us in this bout. As we mentioned, your final score, 217-7 is the final score. Next bout, starting very shortly, is Sunshine City versus Slam Diego. Say J and Heidi will be on the call.